We're back. It's Victoria and Madison. And these outfits are brought to you by Victoria and Madison. They tell everything about our relationship.
About our relationship.
Backwards hat,
boobs,
big tits, flat tummy, and little waist.
And what?
Little waist.
Yeah.
And cute little booty shorts.
Okay. And what does yours tile?
Mine is whore shirt.
Daddy tits.
Daddy tits. Flat tummy.
Yeah.
And cute little pencil skirt that is changing color in the.
Oh, that's weird.
It's kind of cool. Anyways, I don't know why that's happening. That's so awesome. Okay, anyways, I'm a nerd. Must feel something with the frequency. Anyways, squirrel. Okay, so today we are talking about.
No one ever will know. Self-worth.
Self-worth. And something else? Anyways, okay, whatever. Let's do it. Okay.
Is this another welcome to the shit show?
This is a shit show one, yeah, for sure. Okay, so self-worth. I almost forgot it, but I remembered it the last second. If you have self-worth versus whether you have no self-worth.
Taking up a little too much space.
Sorry, if you have no self-worth, if you have no self-worth, then you feel like you're worthless, right? If you have a little bit of self-worth, you feel like you have some value. If you have a lot of self-worth, you believe you have a lot of value, right? So as someone who had no self-worth for a very long time, I knew exactly what it meant to feel like I was worthless. And that really sucks. Because if you feel worthless, then your expectations are
of what your
zero,
life should look like. Yeah.
Of what your life should look like, of what you are deserving, is also zero. And if you get even something slightly more than worthless, you'll feel lucky. And you'll feel guilty because you'll actually feel worthless. And so even that thing that's not worth a lot, you take and you accept and you sacrifice. And so that feeling of worthlessness is a really, really tough one because you see other people having self-worth. You see other people looking like they believe they're the shit, right? And how did they do that? I must actually be worthless because look at them and look at me. And what does somebody look like who is the opposite of that? Madison? Because she's great. I love her. That's literally such an attractive feature for me. Somebody that is somebody that is confident, has self-worth, believes in their value, and backs it up. Mm-hmm. Right? Like that's fucking sexy as fuck. So I'm going to say that as a huge compliment.
Oh, thanks.
Go ahead.
So I don't.
Okay, sorry.
Growing up, I think it comes from the fact that, I was raised pretty well. And I was always put in competitive sports and I was always put in things that made me feel like I had a purpose and had value. So I was a competitive horseback rider. I did competitive figure skating. I did modeling. I did all of these things that as a child, I had, not only did I have something to lose, but I had something that was a skill that not everyone had. And that made me feel like I had self-worth.
That's awesome.
Which is, it may not be the reason, but that's what I've thought about in my head. And I was competitive until I was 24. And then I had that for my whole life. That was all I knew. And I modeled my whole life and I always was worth something to other people. So I never, ever struggled with what I thought I deserved. I always thought I deserved the best things, actually. I would always go for the best things. I would always try to get the best thing because I thought I deserved it.
That's where she got me.
It's exactly what I thought you. That's exactly right. See?
Thanks. Okay, sorry. I didn't want to do that.
No, that's good. Yeah.
As somebody who has high self-worth and somebody who's taught me to have my own self-worth, and that's fucking amazing. And that goes back to the conversations about desire, is it made it so much more for me when I knew she wanted me as well. And that she saw me as an equal because I saw her as a fucking goddess, right? So to even feel that back is like amazing. So someone who has high self-worth has high expectations. Mm-hmm. Someone who of themselves and sometimes of other people too.
100%.
Right? And because you believe that you can accomplish it if you work hard enough, if you desire it enough, if you believe that you can do it. If you believe you can't do it, you've already lost.
I get pretty pissed when people are acting shitty around me or towards me because I know I don't deserve that. Whereas I've seen other people in shitty relationships or with shitty friendships that just take it and take it and take it and take it and take it.
Yeah.
And again, that boils down to what you think you deserve in your life.
100%. So as someone who's gone from feeling utterly worthless to somebody who has slowly seen their worth and slowly learned to love themselves and slowly learned to become who they were always meant to be and all of these things, but like starting with self-love and starting with seeing myself and starting to seeing my value. So coming from a place where I didn't have it and I believe that I was 100% useless in every way, shape, and form. So to go from that to a place of not only loving myself, but accepting myself and fucking embracing myself and celebrating myself, like to go from one extreme to the other, like it's like if you had asked me at the beginning of my transition where I would have been happy, and then you showed me a picture of that, and then you showed me a picture of me now, and you're like, you would have been happy in both of those places at different times. But now look at the two. And I'd be like, wow, the one that's standing here right now, that's fucking power. And that's fucking amazing. And that is so, so much more than I could have ever seen on that first day. Both of those would have made me happy though. But one made me really happy. One gave me things that I could never have imagined on that first day. Because of my self-worth, because of no desire, because I wasn't myself, because I wasn't with the right person, because I wasn't in the right place. And for all of those reasons, I found self-worth. And so much because of her, actually. I started to believe in myself when she started to believe in me. And it was the first time I gave a shit about what somebody else's opinion was. And not only did I give a shit about it, it was the only thing that mattered. And so now I have a thing where the person who I believe in and I see is seeing me. And I was like, wow, fuck, that's amazing. That's powerful. And that is the difference of a life with high self-worth and a life with no self-worth. One worthless, but not really worthless. And one believing in oneself and living as oneself and expecting a lot because they deserve a lot. And that is fucking power.
What are some steps that you think people can take as someone that's been at the bottom and someone who is at the top of what they feel is possible? What are some steps that people who are feeling the way from you before or listening can do?
Okay. Self-love is a prerequisite, but you can't have self-love until you have authenticity. You can't have authenticity until you have knowledge of who you are. You can't have knowledge of who you are unless you have a desire for it. You have to want it. You have to not be running away from the truth. You have to be running towards it. Running towards the truth is running towards authenticity. Running towards authenticity is running towards accepting and loving oneself. And only after all of those steps can you possibly start seeing your value, because until you're living an authentic life, everything you're doing is you're doing it for somebody else and you're not doing it for yourself. So, and that was one of the other talks we had about whose life are you living? If you're not living your life every single one of your actions is for somebody else and they're not for you, even if they're the same actions. Me mowing the grass pre-transition versus me mowing the grass now. What's the difference? Me. Action is the same. The person is the difference. One, I was doing it as somebody else, and now I'm doing it as me. So authenticity is after the path to self-love. Once you have self-love, then you can have self-acceptance. Then you can have self-love. You can have self-celebration. You can have all of those things. But it exists on a spectrum. It doesn't start and stop with anything, but you must always be walking towards that higher purpose and that higher, because then you will get more and you will be able to give more. And that's maybe the best part of somebody who has a high self-esteem. They want to help. They want to do more. They want to help others. And people who hate themselves,
Yeah.
they aren't the ones who are
Yeah.
reaching out and doing all the lovey things.
Yeah.
People who love themselves, those are the ones that can love other people.
And that's why we're doing what we do. We want to have
Literally.
everyone feel the way that we feel.
100%. If you could find your path to authenticity and self-love and self-acceptance and self-worth and self-acceptance, fuck, that's like,
Imagine a world where everyone could do that.
just for a second, imagine a world where every single person is living their best life in an authentic way, not hurting other people. Like, I just, like, you talk about world peace, and well, how about world peace is that? Literally, if everyone was on a path of self-discovery, the real one, then this world would not look anything like it looks right now.
It's kind of part of our mission.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that, love you guys. I know this was a bit of a long one, but hopefully it was worthwhile.